Here we go, here we go, here we go. It is another day's journey. I'm so excited today. Excited that you are here on the Empowering You Show. What do we do on the Empowering You Show? We showcase business owners and people doing phenomenal things in the community. Today is no different, I think, although I don't know who's coming. Anyway, let me introduce this beautiful co host, the assistant, the director of operations, the sassy, sexy, smooth, Shanae Smith.
Hello, hello, hello. I love that I'm able to be here with you all today. But more importantly, I love that I'm able to surprise my co-host. I bet you want to know who the guest is today, don't you?
I do. Stop playing.
Don't worry. You will soon find out. Today we do a little bit different. So we are going to go right in. Our guest today is a small business and marketing expert. Michelle Pippin is the proud founder and CEO of WomenWhoWoW, taking a $50 investment and bootstrapping her way past the seven-figure mark. What began by print invite only, right there in Hampton Roads, as the most exclusive and intimate place for women entrepreneurs to gather, WOW now boasts members in every state and 8 countries. Pippin wrote the internationally renowned Manifesto of Successful Women Entrepreneurs and has been featured regularly on outlets such as MoneyInc.com, Entrepreneur Magazine, Good Morning America Weekend, Inside Business Magazine, Forbes.com, and more. She's the editor of the WOW monthly newsletter, the author of Entrepreneurial Espresso, the creator of the infamous live work in pajama party event, and the blogger behind The Daily Hustle. A wife, mother of 3, and now grandmother, this Nestor is a powerhouse of practical strategies that work in every industry and economy. Welcome to the stage, Michelle Pippin.
I guessed it though. I guessed it. I told you. I did. I said it's got to be Michelle Pippin, otherwise it's not exciting. Okay, so I just got off. By the way, all of you out there, this is my sister from another mister. Her name is Barbara Michelle Pippin. I am super duper excited that she has honored me and become a guest on our show. Welcome, Michelle.
Wait, I'm so excited to be here. And I'm more excited that it was a surprise to you, even though you guessed it.
You did guess it. She said, see if you can get her. And I was like, well, we'll see.
Thank you so
How
much.
fun.
This is so super fun. This is so super exciting. For you who don't know out there in Empowering You Land, Michelle Pippin has been my coach, my friend, my mentor. Again, my sister from another mister. I promise you, I love, love, love this lady. And I want to just start in by just saying thank you, Michelle, for all you do, not just for me, but for so many women business owners. I just got off the phone with her and I thought she was looking quite a little bit special today, like a little bit more made up than usual. And I was like, where is she going? She's going somewhere. And she even said she's going to a podcast right after. So I'm like, mind blown. So I'm gonna let Shani start because I'm still overjoyed, so excited I can't even breathe right now that you're here.
Great. That's exactly what I wanted you to feel like. I can say, Michelle, from the beginning of time that I've been with Barbara, she has talked about you and just overflowing of all the information. So I had to myself attend one of your wonderful workshops, and I can say mind blowing. The way you have with words is just like it's great.
Thank you so much. And I just would be remiss if I didn't say that the love flow into me from Barbara is definitely reciprocated, right? I mean, she and I are truly sisters, and people don't know it right away when they see us together, but I think it's pretty obvious, honestly, all jokes aside. Like, I think it's pretty obvious, to other people. And we do have a special connection, and I'm so grateful for her. And Shani, grateful for you as well. And I was so excited when you reached out and asked me to be on, and even more excited when it was a surprise, obviously, to Barbara. And yeah, so I'm just excited to get to know more of your people through this, I guess, medium, I guess. So this media outlet. So I'm just excited to go wherever you guys want to take me today. Full trust.
Awesome. Let's go on a field trip. Okay, so I know that you've had some tragedy in your life. And
Yes.
so what I want the audience to know about you is not that just you're a coach, a person who helps female entrepreneurs and some good men uh, come up higher, but that you're a real person. The way you see Michelle today is we met again in New York. I've gone to a couple of her New York media events, and she's a real person. Like, there is no facade. But I don't understand is why you don't like being in the public. Like, talk about how you love being at home.
Yes. Yeah, I do. And so I think there's a lot of different ways that we could go with this. I'm gonna go the honest route, right? Because I haven't prepared a better lie. But the truth is, like, that is one of my best compliments is when people meet me for the first time in real life and they're like, "Oh my God, you're exactly the same as you are," whether it's on Facebook or wherever they met me first, and or even in my email, right? Like, people who are on my email list. And so to me, I don't know any other way to be. And it was never worth the effort for
Yeah,
me
yeah.
to like put forth a facade, right? So it's like, I'll never forget one of my friends who's single. She said to me something years ago, and she was talking about like Botox and stuff like that. And she said, she's like, I have to consider if it takes this much to catch a man, like, what will it take to maintain him? And it kind of landed. And I immediately, me and my analogies, where I'm like, oh my God, that's business, right? Like, if you have to put forward this glossy, polished, like, pretense all the time, like, that's a lot of effort. And you know what I decided was that I can spend effort one of two ways. I can try to like make myself look good or look fancy or, whatever. Or I could try and take that same effort and just try to help people and try to impact people, right? And like, to me, even if I lose the business game, like, I'd much rather have that impact and that influence
Yeah.
than some like carefully, curated facade. And so for people who are, maybe thinking, well, that's easier for you to say, Michelle, like, I need the money. Woman, I needed the money. When I began my business, I'm married still to a public school teacher. I say that for two reasons. One, I'm very proud to be married to a public school teacher, right? These are people who don't get their due.
That's
But
right.
second, there's no other money coming in this house, right? I'm not like claiming, my husband's money or living a lifestyle funded anything but by me. And so that's why I always like point that out. But I know what it is to need the money. I'm telling you, the fastest way to make money is to drop the facades, stop the fanciness, look unprofessional if you must, but
Mhm.
go out there and help people do
Help
what
people.
you do best, right? Because the truth is, impact, influence, and income are inexplicably entwined. They don't get separated. So
Say it
raise
again
money,
slower. Impact, influence, and
income.
income.
Yep. Are
Inextricably combined.
Yep.
Like, put the mask off and be who you are. Because then
Yeah.
it's like lying, because then you have to be like, what was my impression of that last time? Oh man.
That's great.
Like it? Did I say I liked it? I can't remember. Just do it. Just be you.
And that
Absolutely.
and
I,
that's so real because again, that's probably why we were attracted to each other. Because the same
yep.
way you saw me the first day is the same way you're going to see me. I don't have the energy to be somebody I'm not, and I don't understand how you are somebody that you're not. I really don't understand how you formulate that. Formulate someone, this whole persona that you're not.
Well,
I
I
don't get
do
it.
know how people do that. They see other people, whether it's, with the following they want or the money they want or whatever.
Mm,
And they're like, oh, well, she's this, she looks like this, it looks like she does this. So I'll try to do that. Right.
mm,
And to me, there is some strategy there, right? Like behavioral congruency is important. So if I want what you have, then I've got to be willing to do some of what you do, right?
right. Well, that's
You know,
what I guess that's me trying to be like Michelle then.
right. Or it could have gone the other way. It could be me trying to be like you. But behavioral congruence is fine, but it's not like being congruence,
Right.
right? It's not like somebody's trying to be somebody else,
Right.
right? There's
That's
a
what I
difference
mean.
there. Yeah.
How do you be somebody else? How do you become someone
I
else?
don't know.
You don't
I
even
don't
know
know.
what they've been through. And then real life happens, hit you right here in the forehead, and you're like, it all fell apart. What happened? I thought she had it all together.
Oh, that's the
No.
other thing. People want a lot of other people's stuff, but what they don't realize, like I had somebody recently say to me, "Wow, you all of a sudden just became this superstar." Like, no, you didn't walk a mile in my shoes when this was happening in my life and that was happening in my life, and I didn't have a great marriage, and I was married 3 times, and abusive relationship. You weren't there for that part. You see my life now where I'm happy and I have a lovely family and my husband is great to me, and all these things, but you weren't there at the beginning.
That's right.
So don't wish what other people have. I've learned, when you don't know the shoes they walked in to get to where they are right now, right?
That's right.
But oh gosh, I'm still like flabbergasted that you're here. So talk, I want you to promote some about your New York event. Are you all full?
We're not. We actually just started opening the doors for the
Okay.
New York event, and we did get a bigger space this year. It's
Okay.
still intimate. We're still limiting it to 30 like experts, authors. Like we're still limiting it to 30. But we just got a bigger space. We have a Thursday night rooftop bar experience, and this time it's actually a rooftop bar.
Well,
And
talk about what it is, because we just said
oh,
your New York event. You
yeah.
and I know
So
what it is, but tell the
yes.
audience what it is.
So the media event there's only one purpose to the media event, right? It's not like a teaching or training event. We combine 30 experts, authors, book writers, consultants, that kind of thing, doctors, dentists. We combine 30 of the best with 12 to 15 top decision makers from top media outlets, right? That's why we do it in New York City. I don't go there for fun, right? So, they have a they have a these people come and they're looking for stories, and we've really curated the event. The reason it's the first weekend in August is because that is in between seasons for like the Drew Barrymore show, Sherry Shepherd, Rachel Ray, like, so they're still gathering their stories for the next season. And so that's why we do it then. And we do have the top decision makers from the top outlets. And I got this idea, honestly, because if you have a certain amount of traffic to your site, then you get considered a journalistic site. You get a muck rat card, so people consider you a journalist. But I remember getting invites to come and be at these media events where I was like one of 100 media outlets, and I would meet with 1,000 people. But I knew, and this is not a self-confidence issue with me, I knew that they were really there to talk to Fox News or CNN or Business Insider. They didn't care about being on Michelle Pippin's blog. My blog didn't even have a name at the time, right? Like, I knew that's not why they were there. And so I'm like, I could just do this better. And I also knew, after meeting with 500, 600,000 people, I was brain dead after that event. The last 200 people, it could have been freaking, I don't know, Brad Pitt or whoever. I wouldn't have noticed because
It's too
I
much.
was so brain dead. Yeah. So I limited it to make it higher decision makers, better outlets only, and the equivalent, right, of the sources that they want. So that's what we do every August. And And I do look forward to it. It's such a fun event.
It
And
is fun.
Barbara can attest. She got one of our VIP gift bags last time. And our gift bags, honestly, I mean, the event's amazing, but our gift bags are unparalleled. Like, you get
And you
so much.
call it a gift bag. It's really not a bag, okay? Just
You can't fit in a bag.
let's be clear. It's not a bag. It's like a whole boatload, like luggage when you go home. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared. I had to have
Yeah.
extra luggage to take all the good stuff home.
Yeah, and people do. They'll either bring luggage, or they will, depending on their whoever they're flying with, they'll either bring a luggage to go back if they get like 2 free bags or whatever, or they'll mail it home.
Yeah, yeah. And last time, I think both times, Mama went with me, and Michelle not only gave me the VIP bag,
I love your mama.
she gave Mama the VIP bag. I'm like, okay. And in there is so quality products. We're not talking swag bag. She's talking the bag. The bag is a swag bag, and the bag had like eyelashes. You know me and my eyelashes, Shawnee. They had eyelashes. They had cookie mix, which I'm still ordering and buying from Luria, the cookie mix. Not good for the hips, but beside the point. But just so much good stuff. Oh, the primer matte foundation stuff.
Yep.
I gotta find that now because I've used it all, and it makes my makeup look so smooth.
Yep.
So
We get
so
the
it's
the
just
best
good
product.
stuff. It's just good stuff. So, Shawnee, I know you over there just chomping at the bit to ask Michelle stuff because we participate in another training that Michelle together in another training that Michelle has. So I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna slide to the side for a second to give you a moment.
I do. I want to say that this training that we're currently doing now was at the pivotal time for me. It was so right on time for everything that was happening in my life. But it's the way with words. It's so funny that when I read it as if you're saying it, like not. I'm the only person who reads things in different people's voices. Like sometimes I'm like, where did that sass come from? That's not what it says. So is that your experience too, Barbara? Like when you read her stuff, that you read it just as if she's saying it to you?
Well, it's so Michelle is so good with content marketing with her words. And I'll send her something for her to look at. And she'll look at it in a whole different lens. And when she sends it back, I'm like, who wrote this? This was not my words. But she
You
takes
wrote
it in
it.
such a way and crafts it so I need a whole Michelle AI person to rewrite my stuff on a regular basis. And I thought, I'm halfway decent at writing things, but Michelle takes it to the so to the next level when it comes to writing. And I am so jealous at sometimes when you send stuff back to me. I'm like, it made my stuff looking like it needed to go in the trash.
It's like,
Well, it did not. It was amazing. And I also, when you join Women Who Wow, basically anybody can actually have me. I used to charge $25,000 and $30,000 to rewrite like sales language, right? And now any member, for like $897 a year, can actually have me rewrite stuff once a month on e-coaching day, right? And I love it. I love the power of words. And so, but y'all are saying that when y'all read my stuff, you hear me saying it, right?
Yeah.
But I also hear y'all in your own words, right? When y'all send me stuff. So I'm like, oh, but I remember things. So like I might remember, I'm reading your sales page and I'm like, wait a minute, I remember her talking about this. And so I'll bring that in, right? So I also hear y'all in your own stuff, which makes it really easy to like, fill in the gaps from a direct response, like marketing standpoint.
I love that. And so I'm going to switch gears real quick and talk about proximity to our humble abodes. Michelle is literally in North Carolina.
Yep.
Like right in a Hosky area.
Yep.
And that's not even like Virginia Beach is like nowhere for you to go.
No, it's like I was just there yesterday all day. So it's like 40 minutes and it sounds exotic. It sounds like I went to a whole nother state for you, but I'm probably 3 miles from the state line, right? And so I grew up 3 miles onto the Virginia side, and now I live 3 miles onto the North Carolina side. A little bit slower pace around here, and I love it. Yeah, but I am definitely a homebody, and some people would say that and they don't mean it. Like I'm a couple steps away from being like a real recluse, like I'm just barely above that. And it gets worse. COVID made it worse because I've been preparing for COVID my whole life, evidently, right? I'm like, I don't need to go anywhere. They all come here. That's good. So but yeah, I love it. I love a simple life, a simple business, and but still able to just, I say stretch your potential until it screams for mercy, right? Like I still want to do that. I just want to do it on my own terms.
And on your own terms. So you love being at home to the point where I heard you say, and I'm totally opposite. I love being out, but I do like to come home.
Yeah.
But I love travel. I love being on other continents. I love being in
Yes.
exotic spaces. I love the whole sitting in the airport and working on my stuff. I love the noise and hustle and watching people. And Michelle is like, I don't need any of that.
I think that's that New Yorker in you too.
You think so?
Gotta be.
Well, what I find is I'm energized by people being around me, but I also don't want them near me as well. There are times when I just want to be alone. In those spaces and in those moments, I can see how you would want to be just alone, but I can't do that forever. I can't do that all the time. My husband's like, you're like a bird. You fly away, you come back. You fly away, you come back. So, but on Women Who Wow, talk to the audience about how and what it is, how you started it, what it is, and how they can join. There is no competition for me, for Michelle, to talk about Women Who Wow. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start giving, I need a referral link. I need a what do you call
It's
it? Affiliate
yours.
link. I need you to create an affiliate link because we're going to start in the next 30 days of having a partner page. And all
Oh
the
my gosh.
people that I want to promote their business are going to be on my partner page. And as I refer to them, go to my partner page and join Michelle's Women Who Wow, blah, 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 blah. So talk to us about Women Who Wow.
Yeah, all jokes aside, we can put this video up at the top of your page. I've never grown by affiliate marketing, just so you know. So I've never grown. Women Who Wow now has members in every state and 7 or 8 countries, maybe 9. That sounds cool. I really am about American women businesses. Like I don't like all the time zones in the other countries, but the truth is, like, we've grown and kind of taken over this space. But we started right in Chesapeake, Virginia, right? And it started because I was always invited to these networking events, and being the recluse that I am, I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to do my brand any favors, but like showing up in person, I mean, that could actually work against me. So, and I did, but in the rare event that I went, I didn't find women like us. This is horrible. And this is probably something I shouldn't say publicly. I didn't find us, guys. I found kind of like people who wanted to say that they were doing business, or, what I'm saying? Like they weren't the hustlers. They weren't women like us. And I remember thinking, wait a minute, where are the like doctors or attorneys, authors, coaches? Like, where are the people who are like in it to win it?
Right.
And then it hit me, there wasn't a place for them. And so I started one, and we literally grew, honest to God, this sounds foreign, but this would have been in like 2015 back then. Honest to God, we grew by print invite only. So you get a print invite in the mail. And if you got a print invite in the mail, then you could then pay to attend one of our live events, which we had every month. And within like 6 months, oh, and then at the end of every live event, I said, hey, if you want a friend to be invited, like give me their address and we'll send them an invite. And within like 6 months, we had women from 8 states driving for this 4-hour meeting. And then I knew I was onto something. And I knew that I was very limited by having a live and in-person kind of thing. So So then I, took it online, but it was really created just to, really have a space that honored the seriously driven woman entrepreneur, and that equipped, it didn't just like encourage her, but also empowered and equipped her. And here's how I see those differently, right? Like, encourage is, you should do this, right? Empower is, you could do this. And equipping is, here's how to do this. Right? And I feel like as women, we need all three of those, right? We need to know that we can, we know that we need to know that we should, and we need to know how. Most people get into business because they're excellent at something: dentistry, speaking, chiropractic care, whatever. But they're not excellent at marketing that skill. And so, but I am actually have no skills other than marketing. So it works out, right? Like, so that is my skill.
That's so not true.
I don't believe that.
That's so not true. That the only skills you have is marketing. That is so not true. But we also have another entrepreneur here on the stage. Do you know what Shawnee does?
No, I do not.
Shawnee, what do you do?
What do? I actually create flavorful spice blends that have healing benefits so that people can save time and money and heal their bodies from the inside out. Can Do Spice is something I created in 2020 because before that I had a cupcake business, and when the pandemic hit, it was the perfect time to get out of that and really get into what I really love. And what I really love is food. The problem is it's good food and bad food, right? I loved all food. But then I really decided once Corona hit, like, oh, you don't have to do that. You can do this. You can eat this. Like, I didn't grow up in a place where we would take different medications. We always look for, a home remedy or something herbal.
Me too.
Duh. People say, what did you cook? What did you put in this? It's so good. And I'm like, I don't know. I did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, till the ancestors said stop. But now I've figured out a way to stop doing that and create the flavor and allow people to do that. So if I could, I'd be in everybody's kitchen. Since I cannot, it's my way of coming home with you.
I love that. And I'd like to invite you to be the first official sponsor of the media event. And it's free. So you can have your products in the gift bag that everybody's going to be raving about. So I love that. I'm so excited to know that.
See that? And she the spice blends that I use, the one that is my favorite is Mary Green. Mary Green is named after her mother, and it is, to me, the one spice that I have to have all the time in my kitchen. And then she's got Island Passion that I use in seafood. And again, all the rest of them, except for Mary Green, have no salt. But they have spices like ashwagandha and some other stuff, and some stuff I can't pronounce, burdock root. And
you pronounce ashwagandha, that's the biggest one there.
Shawnee, I am a crunchy granola woman, right? Like, I am all about that natural health thing. I mean, to an extreme, which I won't get into, but like, I'm all about
but let's get into it because Shawnee is also that one. She's just really turned vegan, all vegan.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get there. I'm just like in my meat.
Well, you know what how I got there and how I say that your current workshop has really gotten me there, was on time, is because all this time I've been trying everything. Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, B12 shots, keto, Atkins, Suzanne Summers, cabbage soup, you name it. I've never prayed about it.
Yeah.
Like, duh. And so it was almost like God was like, go ahead, try something else. We'll see how that goes for you. And this time it's like, you want it to be easy? I'll make it easy for you. So I actually started off on just a water fast. And for 3 days, I was just praying and fasting. Like, you just kind of let me know. Whenever you think I should eat, you let me know. And I wasn't hungry. I had no detox feeling that I normally would have. And I was like, so you're just making it like this so you can be like, I told you I would make it easy for you. And I don't break fast until I have done my devotions. which now also include whatever scriptures you send to me. But
Awesome.
so it's like, well, if you really don't have time, like you say, you don't have time, then you don't have time to eat either. Then, so when you get hungry enough, you'll make sure you get it done. And it was just like,
what's amazing with Shani too, though, is she used to not really read the Bible. And I said, because she's reading King James, of course, it's difficult. And I said, why don't you just read a different version? She's like, a different version? I said, try the NLT.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can understand this. And I was like, that's kind of the point.
You're a mess. I can't really get with this. I really can't.
But honestly, a lot of churches really discourage, I mean, I grew up red carpet Baptist, right? And my kids went to Atlantic Shores.
Wait. Red carpet Baptist. I have never heard that before. And our church is still red carpet Baptist.
Right. Red carpet, red hymn books. I mean, the whole thing, right?
Right.
So we're not talking like, the new version where they have drums and stuff, it's red carpet. But my kids went to Atlantic Shores for several years, and they had to memorize Bible verses in school. And they wouldn't allow them to memorize anything but the King James version. And I was so mad. Like, I literally went to fight them on this because I'm like, I don't want my kids memorizing it for a test. I don't want them memorizing math for a test, let alone Bible. I want them to be able to, digest it. And so it was we actually got it changed, but it was like that way. And people are so kind of discriminatory against like the different versions. But if you have no way to like make it your own, then what is the point? It's just a book at that point.
Yeah. So I'm loving that Shani's all into the Bible now, and I'll say things because I was raised in church. Of course, I didn't really get a relationship with Jesus until I was well grown and married a couple times. But I know the Bible verses. I know the protocol. I know what you're supposed to say. I know what you're supposed to do. I know the communion, the Holy Communion, and all this stuff before. So there's some scriptures that even when you don't have a relationship with Christ, if you hear them enough, they kind of stick with you. And so I'll say something and Shani goes, I know what that is in the Bible. And I love that. I just love it. I grew
up in church. My mom, I didn't get it until really as I was dealing with her. My mom had dementia, and I just lost her 11 months ago, right?
I'm so sorry.
She used to always say, oh, you're not going for me. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna go to hell. So let me hurry up and go get dressed. So you can be quiet about it. But that's what she always say. Oh, you're not going for me. And now I get it. I'm not going for you. So
now, but I want to talk more about Shani for a second. Just a second more about. Do you see the vibrancy and the liveliness, Michelle, that she brings to the show? Stop. Well, when she first started on the show, she was like, okay, Michelle Pippin is coming to the show now, and she probably is a trainer person. And I'm like, my husband said, you sure that's gonna work out for you, having a co-host? But now look at her.
It's so good. It's such a great, bouncing off of each other. It's so good. And I just want to say, Shani, I lost my brother about 10 and a half months ago. And so we've been on the same grieving journey. And so anyway, I just want to say that I'm sorry for your loss. I know it's so hard.
And I feel the same way. When I read I think it was Saturday when you got really in deep, and I'm like,
yeah,
I've been there.
Yeah. But we are, Michelle, you have so many resources. Again, Women Who Wow is a phenomenal place to join other women, but having Michelle at the helm of this humongous ship has been such a joy for me. I keep saying, okay, just make sure that I don't fall out of fellowship with you. And she's like, that's never going to happen.
That's right.
But I want people to really understand the depth of what you provide as resources for Women Who Wow.
Yeah, I think that I guess there's two ways that I could answer that. But one is WoW is really about building the woman, right? Like we're never going to, my heart is for women, right?
Mhm. Right.
Entrepreneurship is like the vehicle. I have a thing, like, I mean, everybody has their thing, but um, I can't stand to see a woman disempowered, right? Like, staying because they can't afford to go. And I'm all about marriage. I mean, I'm all about marriage, but like, I'm all about the woman being empowered to live the life that she was called to live, and seeing women below that, it breaks my heart, honestly. Entrepreneurship is just the quickest, easiest vehicle I know to allow women to live the life they want to live. And so the depth of WoW is really because what I learned is that my business is never going to outperform me, right? And neither is your business.
Right.
So I grow the woman, and as the woman grows, she becomes intolerant of mediocrity, intolerant of fitting in the middle of the masses. And like she's intolerant of that. And so everything up levels. So I think that's where like that level of depth comes from. And I've also been doing this a long time. So I can't imagine any question you would ask about business that I don't have, at least a training on, if not like a full multi-week intensive, like walking people through something. And so, but honestly, the resources, when people join WoW, they actually have access to all of that. And I beg them not to go. I mean, it's in the first welcome email. Please don't go into the site, because I don't want people listening to Michelle and not doing their work, right? I'd rather just start where we are. If you need an additional training, I'll send it to you. Don't go
Yeah.
digging in the
It's,
site.
it's it's overwhelming because you
It's
have so much.
overwhelming. It's there if you need it, but don't just go, right? It's there, it's yours. Use it however you want. But I beg people, listen, business is actually a very simple thing, right? All the gurus who want to sell you this funnel and that funnel and this and that, like they've complicated business. But guys, our ancestors, all of them were in business. You know what I'm saying? Like before the Industrial Revolution, everybody was self-employed.
Yeah.
It was no 80% failure rate. There was no welfare.
Right.
Failure meant starving. So with time, we've started to like overcomplicate it. And think it has to be all these different things. And anyway, so I want to keep it simple. I want to grow the woman and her audacity and her confidence and her marketing know-how. And at that point, right, the business has to come along the same way. As a note of warning, if a woman starts shrinking, right,
I did
so
that.
too will the business.
And that's what happened with my business. It started to shrink. And so I want to talk more about that. I want to talk about how women who are listening to this can come up higher by just being more audacious, being more bold, be understanding that unless you are, because even though my father passed away 2 years, getting ready to be 3 years now ago, I went into a depression state. And what happens to your business when you go in that undercover, under the carpet? You're so low that even the ants are taller than you. Your business also goes down. And so I leaned heavily on Shawnee. I leaned heavily on you, Michelle. And I don't even know, I'm not even sure if you guys even realized how really low I was at that point, and my business suffered. So now that I'm back on top, how do I quickly speed up to get that money churning and yearning and earning again?
Yeah. So I just wanted to say, I mean, the only thing that makes business difficult, business is like a logical thing, right? What makes it hard is that it has to be played out by emotional beings, right? Like we're human. And that's what makes it hard. It's just like church. What ruins a church? Just the people,
People.
right? And so business is the same way. And so there's a few thoughts that I have. So number one, like even though I have been in the deepest, darkest grief that I had never even anticipated, and it stopped me in a lot of ways, my business still grew because I have that body of resources because I have such a plethora of content marketing out there
Already.
already that sells my stuff. And because even when I was feeling so freaking low, my marketing engine is content, is writing, right? And so what did I want to do in my grief? I wanted to write, Barbara. I wanted to, and I did. And even though I was writing about grief, people still bought stuff, right? And so part of that goes back to the original conversation. I don't pretend. I don't hide stuff from my people. I don't pretend that I live a life that I don't, or, you know what I'm saying? So me going through something and being transparent with it does not detract from my money. It actually adds to it, right? But the reason I do it, so your business can run on anything. The same way you could, not that I could, but people could design a car to run on any fuel source at all. Battery, you know, lithium, chicken fat, I mean, like whatever, right? You can design a car. But you want to design your business not based on what's popular, but what if your marketing was the engine of your marketing actually was something that you can't not do, that you can't keep yourself from doing, right?
What do you mean? But what do you mean by that? Because like my content source, your content source is writing. My
Yes.
content source is visual, and I'm so transparent in how I feel and how I look that I don't want to be the Debbie Downer on a camera.
Yes.
But you're saying, if I understand you correctly, that's what people are going to love, that I'm over here with snot and tears coming out of my face. When I
Well,
have snot and tears coming out of my face.
I think that, yeah, it's so funny, right? Like those women who like, they have these beautiful like pictures, like this one little tear. You know, I'm an ugly crier.
Yeah,
You're
me
right.
too.
Like you know, and not once in all my grief have I thought, well, now's a great time to take a selfie and post it. That drives me nuts. But so it's not so much that I'm saying go snot and tears ever.
Right.
However, here's the way I look at it. If I was dying in the desert, right, and I'm literally thirsting to death, and you are on like a safari and you have water and you see me dying, you are not going to worry if we're the different colors. You're not going to worry about if you look or feel pushy to me. You're not going to worry if your makeup is on or if you're grieving. You're going to come to me, and hopefully, because you care about another human, you're going to open my mouth and pour the water down my throat, right?
Right.
Right. Because in that instance, the camera of your life is on me and not on you.
Right.
So what I mean by, yes, mine is writing, yours is video. And so it's like, can I help someone today? Right? Can I help someone today? Can I serve someone today? And not thinking that you've got to always go and be the cheerleader, right? Sometimes you got to go and kick somebody in the tail and be like, what are you doing? And sometimes that person is you. Right. And so while I'm not saying always go there and snot and like use marketing as a diary, you know what? There's nothing wrong with saying, with going to market and saying, you know what, guys, you know, I am struggling right now. You might be able to tell my makeup's been cried off. And so instead of boring you through like a sob story, I'm going to re-show one of my old videos. And what I wish I had said differently was this, right? You could post old content and give a new take. You could not show up at all via video and show an old video and say, hey, you know what? The truth is, I've cried all my makeup off today and I'm in a bad way and I don't need anything except the opportunity to serve. And so here's a video, and I did this in 2018. Here's what I would change: 1, 2, and 3, or nothing, right? I wouldn't change anything. It's still the truth. And I just want to serve today. So that's what I mean, right? So your marketing engine, yeah, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be anything. And it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have to fit into a category. And I think too, that if you think about it the way, like the desert analogy, like if your lens of your camera isn't on what are they going to think of me? Do they think I'm pretty enough? Do they think I'm, you know, wise enough? Think I'm smart enough? Like if it's not on me, then I'm free to just go out there and pour stuff down people's throats, right? Like, seems like you need some water, right? You need a little
That's a good
encouragement.
analogy, though, Michelle.
Yeah.
Really,
So,
really good.
and we get in our heads sometimes that
Yes, not
yeah, that we
sometimes.
have to be a certain way, or we got to show up a certain way.
Right. Is it going to look right? Am I going to look fat? Am I going to get likes? Whatever. So if I want to get into Women Who Wow, how do I do that?
Actually, I will send you a link personally, and I hope you do want to join. Right now, Women Who Wow is closed to, like, this sounds a horrible word, but like outsiders, right? So there's a waiting list essentially. And but it's cool anyway. I never send anyone to our main list to join, because if you join via friends and family, then one, you pay less money. But two, you get the benefits that like Barbara has, which, you know, like the e-coaching once a month. So if you want me to, you know, rewrite your stuff, or, you know, the one-on-one stuff. And so you get the benefits that our inaugural members have. So right now I'll send you a link, and then I'll send the link also to Barbara, so that if anybody's saying, hey, I'd like to join WOW, then you can send them a direct link and they can join that way.
Well, they're not getting a link until I get an affiliate link.
Okay, I don't have affiliate links, but I will give you your own page, and anything that comes through that page, then we'll work that out for sure, 100%. Be our first affiliate.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about our affiliate, and it wasn't because I really wanted the money to come from it. I just, because I love to connect people, and good people. I'm not just connecting. You're not just going to get on the Barbara H. Smith affiliate page just because you have an affiliate link. It's people whose products and services I've used and I love. I love Can Do Spice. I love Women Who Wow. I love Best Ball Shave. I love Dr. Amerson's hair products and hair care. Started growing my hair because it was thinning in this, like you could tell it was thinning at all, because it's not short or anything like that. But anyway, just, the people who I adore are going to be on the Barbara H. Smith partner page, and their products are top notch. So they'll know that if Barbara recommended you, if Barbara has a link on her page, you got to have this. So that's
Yep.
that was that thing. And why not make a little money in the interim?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so super excited. If you have just joined us, the phenomenal two Barbers on the stage, but the phenomenal Michelle Pippin is on my platform today. Shawnee Smith pulled it off again. You're going to have to stop doing that, because you're going to give me heart failure at some point. That she pulled off having one of my favorite people on the planet on the show today. So if you just joined us, Michelle Pippin is on our platform today. She is the curator, founder, CEO, planner of Women Who Wow. Tell us again how we reach out to you, Michelle, if we want to get a hold of you.
Yeah, so a great way actually to reach out to me directly is just on Facebook Messenger, and so it's m.me/Women Who Wow, and so that's a great way to reach out to me. And you can also go to tribeofdrivenwomen.com, and that's where I have like a lot of free stuff and different ways to connect with me, right? So that is all of my like freebie offers, and there's no opt-in either, so you just get to peruse and kind of be a voyeur of my stuff. And that's a great place for people. And there's also a link there to message me directly.
That's so good. Shawnee, I know you got more questions.
One more time. What was that? Tribe of Women?
Tribeofdrivenwomen.com.
Tribe of Driven Women. Shawnee, what else you got?
I don't know how you even get the energy, but I guess it's because you want to stay home, right? But how do you get the energy to do entrepreneurial espresso every day?
And she serves it up fresh every day, by the way.
Well, yeah. Again, though, it is a that's what energizes me. So writing actually, I look forward to doing that it's the first thing I do, right? And so I feed the dogs first, because they would never do something else. But after that, and I feed them their sweet treat, which is a banana, And I do that. Then I do my entrepreneurial espresso and I love it. And so it actually fuels me. And I've built my business, and this took time, right? Like, cause I started with a $50 investment, and, so it took time, but I've really curated my business so that what I do actually gives me energy. In fact, sometimes Barbara can attest, I will open up like one-on-one call-in hours with WoW, or send out something, because I'm like, I like the energy. If I need energy, then I'll meet with my members. I'll schedule an extra training. I'll do whatever, because it actually gives me energy rather than takes energy from me. And so, and in full disclosure too, I mean, I'm an empty nester and now I have grandkids, and but I'm kind of done by about 11 every day, like for actual work that I have to do. And the rest is just like what I dream up.
I love that. I love that. I want that life. I want that. That's an envious life that I want. I want to be done with work by 12 noon, and the rest is whatever I feel like doing. And if that's flying across country or flying across continent, that's what I want to do. And I did that exercise where my perfect day looks like this.
Yes.
And
That's
check it
where
off.
I started. And I still have the book that I wrote all the notes in, and about like my perfect day. And, back then, it's funny because I wrote it all out back then. And I think I said, do something online, it was old. But I didn't believe it to be possible for me. Right. That's the truth. And I'm a pragmatic person, and my husband is amazing, but he is a public school teacher. So, anything that like allows us to live a different level of life is up to me. And so I take that seriously. And I just never thought, I felt like it was like almost fanciful, I guess, to pursue that, until I realized, like, I started thinking, okay, so maybe you have to have like, $100,000 a year. Let's just start that because it's easy. Then it's like $100,000 a year. Well, I can have, 100 people pay me $1,000 a year. Right. Or depending on your list, I can have 1,000 people pay me $100 a year. It's just basic math. And I started designing. I'm like, okay. When I launched Women Who Wow, that first month I made, I think it's like $17,000. It's $444 times 40 people. And I was like, I made $17,000. So I'm gonna fire a private client, right? To get back time. So I fired one I didn't really like that much. And and that was only $3,000 a month, right? So I'm like, I'm still ahead. And so what I did was I scheduled myself in there, and I'm like, now when I was supposed to be with that person, now I'm gonna work on my business. And I just started doing that. It was very like deliberate and measured, which allowed me to trust it a little bit.
That's the thing, though. I have such a hard time with the measuring part. I also have a hard time with that consistency. You are methodical to a point. I mean, and I'm not that way. So it's hard for me to get into a rhythm because I'm so easily distracted. I know, put the phone over in another room. Don't take messages. Don't take calls. Don't do the email. I know all the stuff. But
Clearly.
knowing better doesn't necessarily mean you do better. That's a whole lie. When you know better, you do better. That's not what happens.
No, but the key really, I feel like, is seduction, right? So like the key is being seduced by what you're creating, right?
Mm.
There's quite nothing like seduction. And so to me, it's like my husband, he fears no mortal man. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows I'm not interested. But he will feel a little, he's like, oh, you're with, you're off with him again. And it's like my business, right? Because I'm seduced by it. And so whenever you're having a problem with being distracted, then we really need to fall back in love. We need to correct our vision to say, this is what I'm going after. I am a badass woman. I have been through X, Y, and Z. And so there is no possible way I can't create this on my terms, right? And it's if I can do this, then I can do that. And once you believe that you're going to win that, right? Then there's no way you're going to get seduced. Consider the woman who, she just can't lose weight. She can't do it. She's tried everything. And God knows I'm the same way, right? She get her husband to leave her. She gonna lose weight. It's gonna fall off, right? Because now she's laser focused, right? And now she ain't gonna not lose weight. And so to me, it's like when you're getting like distracted, and it's like, how can I increase the seduction of my own vision? Number one, I literally spend, it's not long, 2 minutes a day bathing in my vision, walking in it, right? Like just imagining. It's just like theater of the mind, right? And I'm imagining it, right? And it's like a minute and a half. It's 2 minutes. It's nothing, but it's deliberate. It's set aside, right? And I just kind of feel myself looking a certain way, doing certain stages, and I feel myself there. And so, and the mind doesn't know the
It's
difference
right.
between,
That's right. I teach that as
yeah.
well.
And if you ever like think you see a snake on a trail,
You'll
you
see
saw
it.
a snake on a trail, your heart, stops.
Mhm.
And so your body doesn't know. And so really be compelled. It's got to be real enough to seduce you to where you ain't getting other stuff done. You're so into it, the same way you are when you're dating someone new, right? And like everything falls to the side.
That's happened
And
so long ago, I can't even imagine that anymore. So that's not acceptable.
I remember it like it was yesterday with Chris. Like I fell for him so hard, and everybody else fell to the wayside. And I had a lot of apologies to make, to be honest with you, later on, because I just blocked people.
Well, you just forgot about me.
I did. I feel terrible, but I was just ultimately seduced. And so anyway, that's the seduction is the key to distraction.
Okay.
And you're not adequately seduced by your visions, and that's an inside job.
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh my gosh, Shawnee, you got last outtakes.
I just want to say thank you so much, Michelle, for being here. I'm so grateful. I have what I heard you to say was that I have VIP access to come into Women Who Wow. That's what I heard,
That's
right?
That's what I said.
So I'll be waiting on that link. I am so excited to be a part of your tribe, to really even get to banter back and forth with such greatness between you, both Barbaras on here today. I'm grateful for the connection. I really am. And it just pushes me and propels me. And whenever I need somebody to pull me back just a little bit more, here comes Barbara with something else that I don't really know how to do. So glad you could be with us, and
Yeah.
I can't believe I don't know where the time went.
I know it went so quick. So I have an event coming up. It is the Sisters Empower Sisters to Advance. Thanks to Michelle Pippin, that's what we got the title from. Sisters Empower Sisters to Advance in October 13, 14, 15. Don't miss this event. It's going to be in the beautiful city of Ocean City, Maryland this year. We have phenomenal speakers coming. We have a beautiful venue. You won't want to miss it. You want to go to barbarahsmith.com to see the pictures from last year's event. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, Michelle, you are one of my heartstring pulls. I'm so grateful that God crossed our paths together, and I'm so grateful that you're here today. But you know what time it is? It's time for you, audience, to step into your greatness. Why? Because the world is waiting for you. That's our show for today. Thank you so much again, Shawnee, for being all that you are for the BHS organization. And thank you again, Michelle, for being here. You really pulled this one off, Shawnee. I appreciate you more than you know.